Europe's just hosted its first ever concert of Korean pop music. It was a sellout, and when fans in Paris demanded a second event, concert organisers quickly obliged. The phenomenon known as K-pop, already huge in Asia, is at the forefront of the so-called Korean wave, the spread of Korean music, drama and film all around the world. But as Lucy Williamson reports from Seoul, this rapidly growing industry is struggling to shed a darker side.
Forget chips and computer chips. Korea's latest export is pop stars. Bands like Girls' Generation and TVXQ are packing Seoul's World Cup stadium, topping Japan's pop charts and even touring with American groups in the US. Earlier this year, Korean pop idol Rain was voted most influential person of 2011 by the readers of Time magazine, beating US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and Apple CEO Steve Jobs. And last week, K-pop came to Europe with its first major concert held in Paris. But behind the scenes, the industry is struggling to shed a darker side. Meet Rainbow, a 7-member girl band, each named after a different colour. If anyone led to a pot of gold, you'd think it would be them. In fact, they told us their parents were heartbroken at how little money they were making. Their management company didn't want to discuss financial arrangements in detail, but one of their directors said that while profits were shared, sometimes after costs had been recouped, there was little left for the performers themselves. Money has become a crucial issue in K-pop. The industry was largely built on so-called slave contracts, which tied young trainees into long deals without much control or financial reward. Over the past couple of years, court rulings and Korea's Fair Trade Commission have come down on the side of the artists. An entertainment lawyer, Sang-hyuk Im, says things are changing.
한국의 엔터테인먼트 인더스트리가
As the Korean entertainment industry has grown, it's been difficult to balance all the interests. Litigations and court cases have acted as catalysts. The new contracts are more detailed, so the artists have a better feel for what they're signing. I think the trend these days is that companies want to reflect the views of the artists more, and things are changing in that direction.
But there are some things even new contracts can't fix. K-pop bands are expensive to produce. Highly manufactured confections, pumped with years of singing lessons, choreographers, costumes, PR and accommodation costs. But when it comes to buying Korean music, the sums aren't adding up, according to music distributor Bernie Cho.
The pricing that we are now facing here in Korea, it's really very much a crisis, was not determined by the artists, by the labels, by their management. This was determined by a cartel of Korean music portals. They're dropping the prices so much. I mean, how do you slice a fraction of a penny and give that to an artist? You physically, literally cannot do it. When people talk about all the K-pop acts that are breaking out and breaking through across and beyond Asia, yes, that's true. But one of the reasons why that's happening is because a lot of these artists are being broken down in the Korean music market. Many of the top Korean music artists, if you do the math, they make more money in 1 week in Japan than they make in 1 year in Korea.
Industry insiders agree that overseas markets are where the money is. One reason why Rainbow are looking forward to their first Japanese tour. And one reason why the Korean government is just as keen to promote this new, cool image abroad. It says Korean cultural exports brought in almost £2 billion of profit last year, with the overseas music industry growing by almost 160%. The only question is whether K-pop ends up more famous for its music or its problems.
Lucy Williamson reporting.